such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This. I am your host, Pastor James Pittman, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. This Pete Buttigieg, it's not that I'm necessarily picking on him, but he's vocal. He's out there. It's not what he's doing that's dangerous. It's how other people are reacting to what he's doing that is so deathly dangerous. First, I'm going to play two clips. Here's the first one. Pete Buttigieg is on The View giving his Christian interpretation on abortion. Watch this.
It is extremely important that no one person have to be subjected to some other person's interpretation of their own religion. I know we're not going to agree.
Partial birth abortion is something that was coming up in like I said, Governor Northam. It was a huge controversy when he was running for governor. I think people, even Democrats, and there are a lot of pro-life Democrats in the country, want to know exactly where your line is, because you will be the president if you win.
Right, but my point is that it shouldn't be up to a government official to draw the line. It should be up to the woman who's confronted with the choice.
Sleight of hand. He says, here's one thing that's very important, that no one person should be subject to another person's interpretation of his own religion. That sounds familiar. No one person should be subject to another person's interpretation of his own religion, as though I have the freedom to practice Christianity according to my interpretation. I'm sorry. Genesis 4 addresses that issue. God tells Cain. A lot of debate about Genesis 4. Here's the simple lesson on Genesis 4. God told Cain, God told Abel what to do. What specifically, we're not told. But it is clear that God told Cain, he told Abel what to do. Abel did what God told him to do. Cain wanted to do what he wanted to do. That is the first time in all of Holy Writ, the first recorded time in which man tried to practice his own religion. He wanted to interpret his own religion, wanted to practice religion his way. God said do A, he did B. You're not free to do that. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. You're not free to interpret your religion the way you want it to be done. You must do what God said. And so the irony in all of that, even in that small clip from The View, he does not understand. Here's what he says. He says no one should be forced to practice one's religion according to another's interpretation. So here you have A, abortion is wrong. It's the taking of a life. Here you have B, partial birth abortion, which he advocates. He says no one person should have to live under another's interpretation, yet he's pushing interpretation B, by which everyone else has to live by now. Do you see the irony? You are interpreting your view of Christianity in one way, and now you want to pass a law in which everyone else has to live by. And you may say, Pastor James, but he's not forcing a woman to have an abortion. No, but you're taking tax dollars and you're allowing others to do it that way. And that law is allowing others to practice their religion the way they want and thus kill their child. So no, every law is a moral law that is passed on to all those living under the law. So stop with the games. Every law is an interpretation of morality passed on to others. Okay? But here's where the danger lies. On Tucker Carlson, he brings on, I guess, Pete Buttigieg's brother-in-law, and they're going to talk about lifestyles and Mayor Pete and his lifestyle. And look at the clip.
Ryan Glesman is a senior pastor at Community Church of God in Clio, Michigan. He's also Mayor Buttigieg's brother-in-law. He joins us tonight. Ryan, thanks so much for coming on. So, look, I'm completely in favor of candidates talking about their faith and living it, by the way. But all of a sudden you have Mayor Pete Buttigieg suggesting that Christians Christianity and conservatism are incompatible. Where did that come from, and is it true?
Yeah, in the height of intellectual dishonesty for Pete to make claims that there's no compatibility with being a Christian and voting for Trump, which Pete, in fact, is the one who is pushing agendas and rhetoric that is clearly against Scripture. So it's just very interesting to me that Pete wants to use this type of terminology. You played that clip from The View, and I'm just in a state of lament when you hear that we have someone running for commander-in-chief who can't make a moral decision on whether to keep a child after it's already been born or to have it killed. What kind of moral suggestions is he going to be given if he can't come to an understanding of that? It's alarming, it's extreme, and it just concerns me, Tucker. It's unbelievable.
Did you see the problem? He can go into detail about the life issue. The governor of Virginia, who talked about famously, we're going to save a child after the failed abortion and make it comfortable and then make a decision on whether or not we'll kill it. He's very specific about that. But before that, he says Mayor Pete is one who's pushing a lifestyle that's not biblical, I think the term he said. Well, what lifestyle is that, Pastor? What exactly are you talking about? You're talking about his great government spending? Are you talking about the cuss words that come out of his mouth when he's not on camera? What specifically are you talking about? He's talking about Mayor Pete's homosexual lifestyle, but yet he's afraid to say it. What is it? Is it a memo that I'm not aware of, that we're not aware of, that you can't say explicitly, clearly, directly that homosexuality is a sin according to God and his holy written word? What is it? Is there a memo we don't know? But it seems as though, and he's a pastor. He's a pastor. I've taken him at his word. He's a pastor. Then why are you, it's like you have to tiptoe and dance around the explicit, direct sin that Mayor Pete engages in every day. He's married to a man. Well, he's in a relationship with a man that they call marriage, but it ain't really marriage. But what is it with us? Are we afraid to call sin sin? That's the problem. Look, here at For Such a Time as This, we're not going to tiptoe and dance around the issue. Homosexuality, while we love all homosexuals and we love them enough to tell them the truth, here's the plain spoken truth. Homosexuality is a sin. Deal with it.
For such a time as this.